Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of High School English Continuous Learning while we're out on this break. Today's content is going to be all about everyday vocabulary. So, I know that a lot of us have been watching Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that since that we've been out. So, what I would like you guys to do is to document words you do not know found in everyday situations, such as in a video, a television show, a song, a billboard, so on and so forth. Use your context clues to predict a definition. Then write these definitions down or verbally communicate them to someone. If you have to access a dictionary, please do so. So, basically, it is using everyday vocabulary words that show up in your favorite shows, and I want you to define them and give me an example for each and every single one of them. Now, I know I have been binging Boston Legal, The Office, and The West Wing quite a bit since we've been out on this break. So, those are the three shows that I'm going to be talking about. The West Wing follows a presidential administration. Boston Legal talks about the lives and stuff like that of a bunch of lawyers in Boston. And The Office is a mockumentary series about a made up paper company in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So, we're going to start off right off the bat with The West Wing. So, as the title of the show, West Wing, makes itself known, there's going to be a lot of heavy duty government and government related vocabulary in this. Okay, it's going to be quite abundant. One thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be the filibuster. Now, what a filibuster is that it's a prolonged speech used to delay a piece of legislation from being voted on. I've included a meme here of Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky giving a filibuster about the NSA. He actually literally spoke continuously for 24 hours. Now, when it happens in the West Wing is with this guy. This is Senator Howard Stackhouse. He's a Democrat senator, and he wanted more autism funding in a health care bill that the Martin Sheen portraying Josiah Bartlett's administration submitted to the Senate, but he didn't get it. So he decided to make it disappear. So he continuously talked for hours upon hours upon hours, and this was in response to his grandson having autism. And it got to the point where the White House decided to encourage other senators to join the filibuster so that the bill could actually be reworked. It was really a clever piece of writing. Okay, so the next one that we're going to talk about is the closing argument. Now, this happens in Boston Legal. Now, if you're a Law and Order SVU connoisseur, kind of like I am as well, you've probably heard of a closing argument before. For those of you who haven't, a closing argument is a concluding statement of each party's counsel reiterating the important arguments for the trier of fact, often the jury, in a court case. Okay, this is like the concluding paragraph for all of your guys' papers. Okay, this is the last thing that you are going to hit a jury or a judge with before the case is completely over. Now, this is in Boston Legal. A lot of the lawyers are incredibly sleazy, specifically James Spader's Alan Shore and William or Bill Shatner's Denny Crane. They're both known for having outlandish costumes during their closing statements, and somehow they usually work. We're introduced to this right off the bat with the pilot episode because James Spader's Alan Shore has the Reverend Al Sharpton come in and give a speech as part of his closing argument, and it actually works. Alan Shore's client in this episode actually gets off scot-free. And the last one we're going to talk about, and this is going to go to the Wayback Machine, is The Office. This is a vocabulary word, and that is the Rolodex, which is a rotating file device used to store business contact information. I used to see these when my grandfather had a business. Um, I hadn't seen one in a long time, and it was kind of funny to see. Hey, I know I've seen those before, and it turned out that Michael Scott actually had one. So it was kind of funny. So the Rolodex actually becomes a massive plot point in season 5, episode 24, with heavy competition. You see in the picture noticed here, or noted here, you actually see Michael Scott in the foreground with Dwight Schrute and Charles Miner in the back. Michael has actually started a new paper company, and Dwight, in the course of this episode, steals his Rolodex cards. However, Dwight blows a sale that he tried stealing from Michael because Michael has everything color coded to make sure he knows what to talk about and what to not talk about actually on his business cards. Well, Dwight blew that, and it ended up with Michael getting a brand new client from Dwight as a result of that. So it's a really clever play on words, and Michael's extraordinarily unorthodox system of doing things. But anyhow, it is your turn. Okay? I would like you to choose one vocabulary word from your 3 favorite shows or songs or films. Take your pick. Okay? I want you to define them. Okay? What are the actual textbook definitions of the terms in question? And then give an example on how they're used in them, meaning how they are used in the actual shows themselves.